So have you canceled Dave Chappelle yet in your house?
No, absolutely not. If nothing else, I respect him more.
You
Dave
respect
Chappelle
him more. Why? So
just because of Dave Chappelle, a lot of people call him the GOAT, and
he probably is.
I'm probably in that camp too. I mean, there's a lot of comedians that I really respect and I really like other than him, but he has a way of in his storytelling to tell a story about someone, put them in a positive light and a negative light in the story, and he can attack a community of people, but still have an underlying positive reason on why he's doing it.
Yeah.
And like show both sides of a story while he's in the middle of his storytelling.
Yeah. He's probably the best storyteller of all time when it
Yeah.
comes to comedians. Probably. So I would agree with that, but I don't feel like he attacks a group of people.
You don't think so?
No, I feel like he critiques and analyzes a group
Okay.
of
Okay.
people.
Okay. I'll give you that.
If there's one takeaway, and again, for people that don't know, he just put out a special. It's called The Closer. It's on Netflix. And of course, he's under heat from the trans and LGBTQ community for
Mm-hmm.
some things that he said. And it's not new. I mean, he's been through this before. And I think because he's been through this before, it is why he chose to do it in the way that he did it on this special. And he even said he's not going to talk about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like he's attacking. I feel like he's being critical of a group of people, much like people have been critical of his people.
Right.
I think it's pretty fair for him to go, oh, okay. Well, then I get so, and he even says is like his attack, and he used the word attack. He's like, his attack isn't on the LGBTQ or trans community, it's on white people, which made me fucking laugh harder than most of the stuff which makes so much sense if you think about it. That's
Mm-hmm.
probably the most progressive thing that he said during that special, because it was the setup to the last thing that he said
Mm-hmm.
was, stop punching down on my people.
Right.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
by his people, he means the African American community.
Right.
That was the last thing that he said. But without that setup of like, well, I'm not worried about trans or gay or lesbian, I'm worried about white people.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make as much sense. And it doesn't lead into the great story that he told about the trans woman that he knows or that he knew.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fantastic fucking human, just a human story. Like if you don't like, if you forget about it, if you don't like his comedy, you don't like his comedy. But if you don't hear that story and have a little bit of sort of empathy, you have to have some kind of empathy. And again, I don't want to tell the story because I will butcher it. So if you haven't, go listen to it. He
Right.
tells a great story about knowing a trans woman. And then, to be honest with you, would you, and let me ask you this, because I thought about this, would you have preferred he ended it on the joke where he was like, I knew your father, he was a great woman?
That would have been a good closer.
That's like a mic drop moment,
That
right?
was hilarious. Yeah.
But you can't, well, we got to back up to the original thing. You haven't canceled them. I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Isn't the point of having fuck you money is being able to say fuck you to anyone and everyone?
Yeah. He's also in this different situation than everyone else too, right? Because he's got fuck you money, and he's also like off. He's not on the map whenever he's not doing shows and stuff, right? He just lives in his own little spot in Ohio, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just flies around to do shows like in smaller places whenever he wants to. And you don't really hear much about him anymore until he comes out with a special and he, does his thing and then he goes back home. Like
Yeah.
you don't really see that somebody having that much money and just doing whatever they want when they want and then just going off the map again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's his advantage that he has
It
over a
is.
lot of people, for sure.
It is, but
But
I'll tell you
I
what.
think that only goes so far. I mean, it's not like he lives under a rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does he like to be kind of Well, here's what I like about him. He wants to go to a shitty hood rat bar in Ohio and not be bothered by the social commentary that he does in his comedy.
Right.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, good luck, Dave. But yeah,
You're still Dave Chappelle.
you're famous and you're going, and he knows he pisses people off, but he still's like, well, I'm doing a thing, but now I'm not. And it's like he told the story about the lady that followed him to his car, you know, who was upset about his material. And he was like, well, did I follow you to your car and do my act for you? No, you saw it on YouTube. Go look it up. Ta-ta. Or like leave it in the comments section, bitch, or whatever he said. Like, but that's all real. Like he's right. Again, think he's wrong about a lot of the things that he says. If you're offended that he says the word bitch, if you're offended, but he's right about a lot of these things. He's correct. But there is no one better at social commentary than he is, because I think I said this on one of our other episodes, but he has a very, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, he's a very unique point of view on social commentary because of who he is. He is an African-American man, married to an Asian woman, has or biracial kids with an Asian woman, but has been very, very, very open about his relationships with everyone else. Gay people, and then in this special, trans people, white people. You know, I just think he has a unique point of view. Not to say that other people don't. I'm not saying he's the only one with this point of view. I mean, but he takes that point of view and really uses it to his advantage when he wants to tell these stories or when he wants to do social commentary, especially when he's in trouble. You know, he talks about the fact that the baby could go into a Walmart in North Carolina and shoot somebody, but he couldn't go into the bathroom.
Right.
I mean, I think he's poking holes in some glaring issues there that no one wants to talk about. They just want to cancel him because he's saying things they don't like.
You know, this is going to sound weird, and it may be just my dumb brain, but the most profound statement that he made in that whole thing for me was he was talking about people attacking him on Twitter.
Right.
And his comment was, and that doesn't bother me at all because Twitter's not a real place.
He's right.
And he just left it at that. And I was like, you know, there's millions and millions of people on this thing called Twitter that you can just attack whoever you want to in comment sections and whatever, but it's not a real place. So why does it matter?
It doesn't.
That was like the most profound statement he made in that whole special for me.
I would, yeah. I mean, it's up there for sure, but you can't cancel him. Netflix isn't going to cancel him.
Netflix doesn't care much, right?
I don't think so. Not so much. No. The other thing that he talks about is, and what I thought was also not profound, but it was important to say, is he gave the definition of what a feminist is. And he said, well, in that case, then I'm a feminist, which he used again later on in the special. I don't know, man. He is the GOAT, dude. He gets to say what he wants. It's freedom of speech. I don't know why we have to keep saying this. Just because you say something that makes some people feel uncomfortable doesn't mean there should be consequences to that. Just don't listen to him.
Right.
I don't know why we have to keep saying that too, but just don't watch a special.
I still think it's going to get worse, but
what do you mean? Explain.
I mean, that we are already saying that it sucks that we have to keep saying this, but I just feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Well, you're probably right.
People getting canceled and things like that for something that they said that, okay, you chose to take offense to that.
Yeah. But why isn't it okay to be confused about things that are unfamiliar to you? And if speaking about them in an open forum and an honest way is the way that you need to gain that understanding, what's wrong with that?
mean, I guess it depends on how you are saying it, right? Because a lot of people can take the way that Chappelle was laying everything out as attacking a certain community of people, right?
I mean, yeah, I know that people are saying that,
you're,
but I just don't see how it's an attack.
I'm gonna say you're only attacked if you feel attacked, and you choose if you feel attacked.
Yeah. If you're recreationally offended by things.
Right.
Well, sorry that people do get offended by things that are said from specific people. You know, I also know that people don't think I deserve a voice in this matter because I'm a straight, white, privileged male who has never been offended ever. You're kind of right. I always lean on that Louis C.K. joke.
But it also lets you be on the outside looking in too, right?
Well, look, just because I, quote, can't be offended and I have privilege does not mean that I can't get educated to situations.
Right.
Well, so I'm not allowed to have information? Is that what you're saying? Because I already have privilege, so I can't have information? I can't ask questions. I can't have conversations. I can't listen to your point of view and then you listen to my point of view or vice versa. Like, what does that mean?